You are sitting on a chair. Your phone is off. Your passport is on the table. Behind the door, an examiner is waiting. Your heart is beating faster than usual. This is not practice anymore. This feels real. A voice calls your name. Please come in.
Don't say this. I read a book and it was interesting. The book is about a man and his life. I like this book because it is good. It made me feel something. Why this gets a low score? Too general, no emotion, no personal reflection. Examiner hears this every day. Say this instead. Opening the answer. I read a book called Say This Instead. One book that left a lasting impression on me is Why It Works, Natural, Fluent Opening, Shows Emotion Immediately, Band 7+ Vocabulary, Lasting Impression. Describing the content. The book is about a man who wants success. Say this instead. The story follows a young man who is driven by an intense desire for self-improvement and recognition. Why it works, clear idea, strong verbs, follows, driven, complex but natural structure. Talking about feelings. I felt sad sometimes. Say this instead. I could deeply relate to the main character's inner struggles and emotional isolation. Why it works, emotional depth, abstract vocabulary, examiner-level language. Reflection, Band 8 feature. This book taught me many things. Say this instead. This book completely changed the way I define success and personal fulfillment. Why it works, reflection, abstract thinking, strong conclusion.
One book that left a lasting impression on me is Martin Eden by Jack London. I read it during a period in my life when I was questioning my ambitions, personal goals, and the meaning of success. The story follows a young man from a very poor background who is driven by intense desire for self-improvement and recognition. Through constant reading and self-education, he attempts to rise above his social class and prove his worth to society. What deeply affected me while reading this book was the main character's inner struggle. Despite his intellectual growth, he becomes emotionally isolated and increasingly disconnected from the people around him. I could strongly relate to his feelings of loneliness, self-doubt, and constant pressure to achieve more. The book made me realize that success without emotional balance and meaningful relationships can be deeply unsatisfying. After finishing the book, I found myself reflecting on my own priorities and questioning whether achievement alone is enough to feel fulfilled. For these reasons, Martin Eden is not just a book I read, but an experience that reshaped the way I think about ambition, happiness, and personal growth.
Final tip: how to actually get Band 7+. Many candidates believe that IELTS speaking is about perfect grammar or difficult words. In reality, this is one of the biggest mistakes. Examiners are not impressed by memorized answers or unnatural vocabulary. In fact, when a candidate sounds like they are reciting something they learned by heart, it often reduces the score. What examiners are really listening for is how you think in English. First of all, focus on clarity of ideas. Even a simple idea, when explained clearly and calmly, sounds more confident than a complicated idea that is poorly organized. Before you speak, take a very short pause and decide what you want to say, not which word sounds advanced. Secondly, don't be afraid to show emotion and personal opinion. IELTS speaking is not a test of facts. It is a test of communication. When you talk about a book, a person, or an experience, the examiner wants to hear your voice, not a textbook. A personal story, even a small one, immediately makes your answer sound natural and human. Another key point is development. Band 5 answers stop too early. Band 7+ answers continue a little longer. You explain why. You give a reason. You reflect on the impact. If you say something, always try to add one more sentence answering, "Why does this matter to me?" Also, remember that pauses are not your enemy. A short pause shows control, not weakness. Speaking slowly and clearly is far better than speaking fast and making mistakes. Examiners prefer a calm speaker with minor errors over a nervous speaker with memorized perfection. Finally, trust the English you already have. You do not need advanced idioms, complex metaphors, or academic language. What you need is honest expression, logical flow, and confidence. When you speak sincerely and stay connected to your ideas, your language naturally becomes better. IELTS speaking rewards real communication. If you sound like a real person thinking and expressing ideas in English, Band 7+ is not luck. It is a result.